right, let's see if we are actually live now. Testing 1, 2. Just give me a second so I can confirm this is working. All right, what's going on? Okay, we are working. Oh my god. The joys of streaming. All right, I'll just start there then. Thank you for stopping by if you come by, or thank you for watching if you come later. This is the live stream for my current Kickstarter, Courier, The Adventures of Geraldine Barker, Volume 2, and A Hobart Rhapsody, the very first issue. Those who know me probably very familiar with Courier. It's a comic series set in 1940s Tasmania, and Geraldine Barker is working as a courier, but she's searching for the Tasmanian tiger on the job. So it's set during World War II times. It's got Australian Tasmanian scenery in it, and it's adventure. And A Hobart Rhapsody is the sequel to that series, which is more romance focused. They are separate series, but they are also from the same universe. So this is going to be a very casual stream. You can ask me questions at any time. I'm going to do a little bit of drawing, probably go for a little bit, under an hour or so. So feel free to ask a question in the chat section. Otherwise, I'll just keep waffling and drawing. But it's such a relief to get this finally launched. It was a very long process, even more so than last Kickstarter for Volume 1. There was a lot more pages to, I guess, edit and put together. Courier Volume 1 was about 88 pages. This one is, Volume 2 is 108 pages, so it's a lot larger. And also with A Hobart Rhapsody, that's a lot of pages to edit. So yeah, it has been a massive journey to get to this. So it's such a relief and a joy to release this on Kickstarter now. Thanks so much to everyone who's also already put forward a pledge. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ooh, I need to relax. Thank you. So for those just joining now, you can ask me a question anytime about anything regarding the Kickstarter or anything at all regarding the process. What I've been doing here, I've been actually designing a new poster for Courier, something a bit even more anime than usual. So here's a few of the designs that I've been working on, just for something different now that I've finally come to an end to with the series. I thought it'd be nice to kind of do something to celebrate. So I've got a few different designs that I've been working with that are more sort of light-hearted anime digital inspired. I am a traditionalist, so I do prefer to work traditionally, but I just thought for this, also because for live stream I have to work digitally, I thought I might just try some sketching on the Wacom. So yeah, I got a few little designs I did there, although you probably can't see very well because of my video. Yeah, so I'm just going to play around with a few scribbles. Oh, hello, Nicole. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I actually haven't done much drawing digitally recently, so it feels really bizarre. It's really funny because if I am working for other people, like for their illustration work, normally they want me to do digital, but yeah, I know I prefer traditional for my own work, but they both have their benefits and they both have their different styles that come with it. Let's see if I'm able to talk and draw at the same time, because it is a bit of a challenge. Let me just warm up a bit again. Yeah, so for those who just got here, this has been a really big process getting this Kickstarter together. I've probably spent about, I don't know, a few good months getting this ready. Oh, hey, Jackie, thanks for coming. So it's been very consuming, so it's such a relief just to get this going. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. I'm just warming up with some shapes here. Excuse me. So I've got some. Last time I did this, I did some pre-written questions. So I've got some more here, although I might just start with what I've written here. Yeah, so Courier Volume 2, that's the focus for this campaign. It is the end of Courier, so after this I'm not going to be doing any more Courier, but there is a reward, a stretch goal reward to unlock if we get enough, if we really exceed the funding goal, we can unlock Courier issue 7. So currently there's 6 issues. Courier Volume 2 consists of 3 of those issues, the last ones, but Courier 7 could happen if we're able to go crazy with the funding. So, but if that doesn't happen, this is it. I probably, I'll be open to someone else doing something with it, but me, myself, I'm definitely done with it. A Hobart Rhapsody is its own series. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm really happy and proud with what I've done for Courier, but also I think I've done all I can now, and I just know that. So yeah, I'm at a really good place with that. I'll be really happy once I get the books out and printed. There's still a little bit of editing to do, but I'm really happy with how everything's turned out. It's been quite an adventure colouring the pages and remastering them, and also learning as I go, because that's kind of been my journey, is learning as I go. And it's been amazing. A Hobart Rhapsody, that is the sequel. It was kind of inspired, actually, I guess it just came naturally whilst I was writing and drawing Courier. And yeah, it just came naturally, and it's always been something that I've always wanted to do, with more romance. And then it was just strange timing though, because at the moment, that kind of romance seems to be very popular nowadays, where I never thought I'd be able to tell stories like that. So it is a bit, I guess, bittersweet in a sense, because I know the market's a bit oversaturated, but yeah. that should never stop you. You should always stay true to what you want to do when it comes to your artistic vision. Unless you're working for someone else, then yeah, sure, they can have their say. Yeah. Yeah, but check out the Kickstarter page. If you haven't had a good look, I recommend watching the video because I'm really proud of the video. I spent a lot of time putting that together and oh, see you, Jackie. I spent a lot of time putting that video together and but I had a lot of fun with it because I've always been interested in animation, and I got to experiment a bit with animating some of the characters, and I got to experiment with making an animatic and what do you call it? Animatic, putting that together and really sort of getting more of an essence to Courier because I really believe music's a powerful component to storytelling. And it was really great getting Synthtronica's song to use for the soundtrack. So, yeah, if you haven't watched the video, I recommend giving it a listen or a little look because I really think it adds another element to Courier that I think was really needed, especially if it's going to become any more than just a comic. I really enjoyed working with that song. But yeah, I did spend about a good 2 weeks working on that video. It takes a while too because you got to manage all the different files and put them together. But it was a lot of fun, and I think sometimes when you're creative and you get into a flow, becomes challenging to actually be creative because you're stuck in with little goals you have to achieve and you're stuck with patterns that you've created that have worked for yourself. But to break out of that mold again, I think is a real challenge as a creative, especially when you're a working creative. So that was a lot of fun. I didn't think about this mic. It's actually in my way. I can't see the Wacom very well. Yeah, if you just got here, feel free to ask me any questions. This is very casual. I'm just sketching a bit. Sketching Geraldine digitally. Yeah, so check out the campaign, check out the video. I was just talking about the video. Yep. Yeah, so I've got these pre-made questions for myself that I did last time. So let's get to them. So I've written to myself. Let's pretend I didn't write it. Is this the end for Courier? Although I just spoke about that. And isn't A Hobart Rhapsody the same thing? Okay, so this is the end for Courier. I'm done with it. Doesn't mean that someone else can't do anything with it. But I've done all I can as a one-woman show, I guess. Although I have had a lot of help, I guess, I've had a lot of help with editing and also from the community. So you never do anything on your own. But A Hobart Rhapsody is completely different in my opinion, just because it is a romance and it's completely different genre. It's a little bit more anime, I guess, themed, and also the storytelling's more anime manga. It's completely different. It's more like a fan fictional response to Courier that I guess it just came naturally though. So it evolved from Courier in my mind, although it may not seem that way. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to work on it recently because I've just been so busy with editing Courier Volume 2 and putting the first issue of A Hobart Rhapsody together, and also doing other stuff that I've really needed to do. So I have had a bit of time away from it. But the good thing is that I've skilled up doing other jobs for other people. So I feel like I'm going to come back to it with a better idea with what I'm doing. I think one thing of me is that I love to storytell. So I write and I plan out lots of really long stories, but I don't really have, I guess, enough time to execute them to the high standard that I want as well. So I'm going to come back with A Hobart Rhapsody in the future, with it to be maybe a higher quality, but maybe a little bit shorter as well. I'm still proud of everything I've done though with A Hobart Rhapsody so far. Yeah, it's just the nature of, the creative journey. You just got to go with the flow. Yeah, so they are very different. Courier is what it is, and A Hobart Rhapsody is completely different. So I recommend checking it out if you haven't. If you're into anime and manga, you'll definitely love A Hobart Rhapsody. All right. I've got to clean up what I've been drawing now, because some of this was actually part of a real concept, and I've just gone and sketched over it. So I'll get that out of the way. Ooh, I got a question. Thanks, Nickel, sorry. How did you settle on the name for A Hobart Rhapsody? Yeah. So I kind of, I guess a rhapsody is like different movements in music. So rhapsody refers to the musical side of the story that I wanted to incorporate, because a lot of the story has to do with Evelyn, who's grown up, and she was a girl in Korea, but now she's grown up and she is working in the theatre. She is singing and performing. So I wanted Rhapsody to sort of pay homage to that, but also to the emotional drama side of the whole story as well. So that's why I thought that would work. And Hobart, it's set in Hobart. Maybe, although if I had to name it again, I probably wouldn't use Hobart, just because I think I heard somewhere that using names of towns can be a bit estranging to some people, or not really resonate with some people. So at the moment it's called A Hobart Rhapsody, but I'm quite open to it changing the name if a publisher wanted to pick it up or someone else wanted to do anything with it. I'm not too precious about that, actually. I used to be. I think I was a little bit too precious, but I'm at the stage now where I want to create really good content, and I want my stories and my characters to be the best they can be. So yeah, I'm not too precious about it actually anymore. Yeah. And I wouldn't mind working with an editor that was on the same page as me. So yeah, that's how I came up with the name. I don't know. I was really proud of it when I came up with it, but actually, I was gonna call it Until We Meet Again. That's the first name I had for it. And Nickel says, rolls off the tongue better than Townsville Rhapsody. Oh, God. Yeah. But I guess Hobart, it has the H in it, and so does Rhapsody as well. I don't know. That's just how I see it connecting. So the words look a bit more similar. And Hobart is less words. I don't know. There's so much that goes into it, into the title of a comic. But yeah, I was going to call it Until We Meet Again, but because originally that series was for Webtoon, and then I realized there's a lot of other stories called Until We Meet Again. So I got rid of that. Because you should always try and have an original name. Sometimes it's good to have something the same name as something else, but not within the same industry. Okay, another question I have written is, if you could turn back time, would you have changed... No, that's not it. If you could turn back time, would you change how you approached Courier? If I could turn back time, I wouldn't change anything, but if I was going to do the same thing again now, I would probably change a lot. Just because I think if you have a really strong creative vision, I think you should really trust your instinct. And that's what I was doing with it. Even though it wasn't easy, it was really hard creating that much story and content on my own, mostly without a publisher and doing all the self-publishing. But I learned so much from it. But now I'm kind of at the stage where I wouldn't mind having more people involved, just because I know I can't really get much better than what I am right now, unless I really change a lot, regardless. So if I was going to do a series again, I would probably make it a bit shorter. I'd focus on just doing more of a, I guess more of a one-shot kind of thing, to show a publisher, perhaps. But it's really one of those questions, would you change your past? No, because then you wouldn't be the same person you are today. So I sort of see my comics and creations the same way. So yeah, I wouldn't really change a lot, but moving forward, I'll definitely take on what I've learned. And yeah, that's how I'd go about it. Oh, I thought I drew it there. Oh, another comment. Thank you. Okay, Nickel says, Courier had some great nature backdrops. Will HR be more city-based? Is it fun to draw different settings than what you did before? Yeah, so Courier was a lot of fun, actually, and a lot of Courier was inspired by the nature of Tasmania. And I find it a lot easier, and I kind of enjoy drawing nature more than, say, boxes, essentially, which is what you're just drawing a lot of boxes when you're drawing the interiors of houses and or even exteriors. You're just drawing a lot of boxes and very sort of geometric shapes, which I've learned to actually enjoy a lot also. And it's very good for improving your perspective and your sense of all that. So, but yeah, I guess A Hobart Rhapsody is, I try and have some scenes where they are, where a lot of scenes that I have that are, where I can get the characters to go out. Yeah, I try and incorporate nature wherever I can. But there's still a lot of scenes that have to happen, I guess, inside. Like Geraldine, she's working as an editor for the local paper now, and she's in an office, so I have to draw inside the office. I have to draw like a lot of Hobart streets. I have to draw when Evelyn's back in London. I have to draw her in the theatre. So yeah, there's a lot more relevant scenes that happen, like in the pubs, because it's performing, and also a lot of instruments as well, although I have kind of been clever and had less scenes that have the musicians playing. So little tricks like that help, but yeah, it's very different environmentally. Um, but I do have some things in plan. Like, for example, there's going to be, I think I might have some performances, for example, that are, say, outside. So I can draw different locations in Tasmania, perhaps. And it was hard to say what I'm going to do, because I don't really like to say all the things I'm going to do. But yeah, I'm going to try and find ways to be creative and incorporate more of the outside nature kind of scenes, because you can spend a long time just drawing boxes. Yeah. But having said that, if you're always drawing just nature, you do sort of really appreciate drawing buildings and stuff. And if you can draw buildings, you can draw anything, I think. So there you go. Oh my god. Sorry, I just had a pop up on my computer. I'm just looking at a reference on another page usually. I have everything up in front of me, but I don't right now. I'm doing my best. Yeah, normally when I draw, I don't really have, if I really need to concentrate, I don't have any music and I don't have anyone talking to me, but that's all right. It's good to challenge yourself. Okay, I got another question for myself, pre-written. After 8 years in comics, what advice would you give other writers and artists that are self-published and or just starting out? Kind of what I said before. I'll just say, stay true to your creative compass. It can be hard because, I mean, for me, it was hard because I think I was naturally a people pleaser, and it can be very hard to divide the two. And I think when you're just starting out, try and have as much fun as possible, because once you start getting more and more work, it gets harder to do what you really want to do, because you have to kind of just work. You don't have to work for other people, but if you want to do comics like full time, you have to kind of be flexible. So I would just say, and also I'd just say, do what you can while you can, because nothing's easy in life, but I think it's easy to take things for granted sometimes. I mean, we all do, but I'll just say, yeah, you need to just do what you can while you can. That's what I'll tell anyone. Because I think when you're younger and you have all the time in the world, and like, for example, people that are still in their 20s or younger, or even, you just think that you'll have all the time and energy, but then you realize you don't, and you never know when your time's up. Nicole says, yep, I know the feeling. I can't have the radio on in the car, too distracting. Yeah, I can drive with music on, but if I'm thinking about stories, no, you probably don't want that on. Sometimes music can be inspiring, but not if you're actually trying to sort out a story in your mind. Yeah, so I've been making Courier now for I released Courier, the first one, 2016, and it's now 8 years later. So I've been on and off working on Courier for about 8 years. So, I never planned on that. But it's been worth it. But you just think, oh yeah, I kind of planned it might take 3 to 6 years to do what I wanted with Courier, but it ended up taking a little longer. But I think anything that's worth doing can take some time. Oh yeah, I'm going all out now. I'm going to have to go over this again, and that's all right. Just conceptualizing here. Thank you, Nicole. I have another question. Nicole says, how do you approach the fashion of the character? Do you use reference images or come up with your own designs? Great question. So for Geraldine, when I was first conceptualizing her and the comic, I just had the idea of, a retro theme. I wasn't really sure which era exactly. But I had an idea that I wanted a courier, a young girl. I didn't really have Geraldine exactly yet. And I was kind of drawing how I wanted her to look. And I think I was actually very inspired, whether I knew it or not, by an anime called Chrono Crusade, where they're actually exterminating demons. And Rosette, the girl, the main character in it, she drives a car. But that's 1920s, so that's very different. But I knew that I wanted to I figured I wanted to set this in World War II times. So once I knew that, I looked at my designs and I'm like, no, this is too 1920s. I want something 1940s. So from there, I looked up actresses and I got Katharine Hepburn, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the character I'm after. I didn't really know anything about her, but it turns out she's actually a lot like Geraldine, very independent, a little kind of strange, I guess. But yeah, it was just very natural how it came about. So I would reference, I looked up 1940s fashion. I did a bit of background research too, as to because before the World War II we had the Great Depression, so that affected fashion as well. And obviously the military, they wanted to get women working and they wanted to get men going to war. So that a lot of fashion was military influenced, the looks and the especially, I guess, the lapel and the jackets, and they wanted women to look more masculine so they could feel more capable of doing work and filling men's roles and working in factories more and stuff like that, like getting gritty, I guess. So yeah, I kind of researched all that. So it was really good. It's fun because you get your influence from certain eras, but then when you research them, you can have a better understanding of what makes what. So yeah, it was very good researching Courier. And I'm still obsessed with World War II. I am just a sucker for reading about it. And I'm really interested in all the stories that I hear from the soldiers and the Japanese point of view and the Australian. Yeah. Okay, what other question have I written for myself here? What difference has Kickstarter made? Oh, that's a good question. So this is my second Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter, the last one I made was for Courier Volume 1, and that made all the difference because I didn't know how I was going to get my book printed. So, yeah, Kickstarter makes all the difference. And I think I tried it because I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to print this book? Whereas before I kind of didn't need my print run wasn't as big as what it needed to be, say, for a graphic novel, so I could manage it. But when you're printing a graphic novel, it can be tough sort of funding it on your own. So it's made all the difference. It really has. So thank you to everyone that got involved with that. And thanks to everyone who's helping out with this one. It really means everything to me. So thank you. But yeah, Kickstarter can be really stressful and it can be really scary as well, but it's definitely worth it. I say go for it if you feel like you're ready and you're willing to put in all the preparation that goes into it. I think it's definitely worth it because you can also connect to a wider audience as well, which has been really helpful for me actually, because there's not many of us in Australia, so it's been really good. We have a good community in Australia. There's still not as many of us. Okay, we have another question. Yay! How did it feel when you got to hold the first comic you got printed? Imagine it felt pretty great having a tangible result. Yeah, the first comic I ever printed was kind of bittersweet, actually. It was the first issue of Courier, and it was the first time I ever printed a comic with a print run. And I was a little bit dissatisfied just because I don't know, it was weird. Maybe I think the paper wasn't exactly what I was expecting from memory. Actually, I don't quite remember, but I think it was the thing that I do remember is that I got a spelling error on the front cover, and that was really embarrassing. But I didn't care. I kind of was like, well, at least I, took the plunge, and so you always make mistakes, and although that was a big one, and I didn't care. It was my first time. I didn't care. I was more happy that I did it. But yeah, I think it was more about doing it rather than the result. But I wasn't exactly satisfied. I know it's a strange feeling. I was probably more satisfied with my last graphic novel that I made, actually. The print was so lovely and really high quality. I was really happy with it. I don't know. I'm weird. I kind of feel like when I get my printed books, I'm usually not so happy with them, but if I go back to them a few years later and look at them, I'm really happy. So I've got that delayed gratification because I can feel really, because it's hard to explain, but when you make comics and you edit comics, you spend so much time drawing it, creating it, editing it, looking at it, checking over it again and again and again and again. It just gets, you get very used to seeing it. So even when you print it, it can sometimes, not always, but it can sometimes just feel like more of looking at it. And you need time away to reset, especially if you've been working on it just recently. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I think though printing A Hobart Rhapsody will feel really special because I've worked on it a lot and for so long, and I haven't really been able to show anyone in print. So I think that's going to be really special. So I think that will feel different. I'm hoping it feels different. Okay, what am I doing with this image? Tea. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And again, thanks to everyone who's already helped out or plans to help out with the campaign. Really means a lot. I think we're off to a really good start. I think we're at 20% already, which is amazing. So thanks so much. It's a really good start. All right, one of my pre-made questions. Okay, I've written here, what's next? Oh, well, that's a bit of a simple, hard question. What's next? Well, obviously I'm really focused on getting this Kickstarter going. Well, it's going now, which is such a relief, because it is a lot of waiting around and it's a lot of pressure, especially when you spend a long time just preparing a Kickstarter. So it just feels so good to launch it, even more than last time, I think, because last time I think I probably spent a bit less time preparing it, but this time around I thought I would put up the pre-launch page in advance so more people could see that it was happening. But it also, I'm really impatient, so it was a lot of attention and waiting, so that was a bit challenging. But it was I think it was worth it because I did need a bit more time for this one. What was the question again? What's next? Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, I'm focusing on the campaign. And then once that's done, fingers crossed all goes well, I will do the final edits and I'll get everything out. And depending on what stretch goals are hit in the campaign, I'll be working on those as well. After that, I can't really say exactly what I'm doing. I have a few ideas, a few things in motion that I can't really talk about. But I do want to continue A Hobart Rhapsody. And yeah, I'll have more to share soon. But really, getting Courier Volume 2 printed is a massive thing for me because now I have the whole set that I can unleash on the world. No, it's good just to have the series together because for a long time a lot of people are asking me, oh, when are you going to collect the graphic novel? And I've made it into 2 graphic novels because it was going to be way too big to put into one, although that could happen someday. But it just feels really good to have it done because it's been in the back of my mind for so long. Like even when I started working on A Hobart Rhapsody, I was a little bit naive and I thought, I'll just have time to put together, the graphic novels and that'll just happen. But obviously you can't do 2 things at once, and it kind of bit me in the ass a bit. So it feels good to just finalize it. Yeah, I can't explain it any other way. Yeah, I'm out of pre-made questions now. So if anyone has anything they want to ask, feel free. I can think of some. Okay, what's happening here in this image? Yeah, I'm really excited to work on A Hobart Rhapsody again because I don't think I've really worked on it since about. I think I worked on it a bit after my last Kickstarter, but then I ended up working with Queenie Chan, and that was really good, and that was a great opportunity. So I didn't work on it during all that time, but I am looking forward to working on that again because I haven't had a lot of time to really work on my own manga and stories, so it's going to feel amazing when I do. I've just had a lot of editing, other stuff to do, and yeah, so I really can't wait to work on it. Oh, yeah, I got another question from Nicole. Thank you so much for all the comments. Favorite page of any comic, either by you or someone else? That's a pretty interesting question. I really like, actually, a page that's stuck in my mind is actually the last page of a manga, the Chrono Crusade anime I was talking about earlier. I have the manga. I don't have all the series, but in the final volume of the series, it just has an embrace with Chrono and the protagonist Rosette, and it's just really powerful because I think they both thought that they were dead, or they're both dying or something, or she was abandoned. I can't remember because the manga's very different to the anime, and I haven't actually read all of the manga, so I don't exactly have the right story in my head, but it's just a very powerful image and it's not expected, so I kind of actually stole it a bit, and so I've used it in the alternate ending of Courier, actually. It's hard to explain, but you'll see what I mean. Let me see if I can just take this out now. Alright. That's just sketching. This is part of the actual poster I want to design I want to have, except I'll take away that line actually. Okay. Alright, I might actually wrap it up soon, just because I'm out of stuff to say, and I just want to thank everyone for coming, and if you have any last questions, now's the time to ask me or anything. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks for your support, and thank you if you are involved in the campaign or have gotten involved. Thank you so much. I couldn't do any of this without you guys, and even though I'm a one-woman show, I'm not really. So thank you. I'm really looking forward to showing you the book, and obviously any rewards, stretch goal rewards we unlock, because there are quite a few to unlock during the campaign. Yeah. And I look forward to sharing with you my future works. So thanks so very much. And also this drawing, I will show you the final poster print I make out of this. It could be slightly different, but it's this kind of idea. Something similar, either this one or where are the other designs that I had? Or some of these designs that I've got here. I'll do something like that. See this design here on at the right? I've kind of taken that design and I'm drawing it further. And I'll add to it. I was going to do something more like the middle design that I have here, which is a bit more slice of life, light-hearted anime. But then the one on the left is more storyteller. And last comments, Nicole says, it's been cool watching the drawing come together. Look forward to the new book. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Thank you all for coming, and I might do some more live drawing sessions in the future. Who knows? I probably should. But thanks again, and all the best. Have a great weekend, and see you around the traps. All right.